We're not quite sure how many people we're going to have for the 2022, but we anticipate it'll be fewer than the 18. And I'll tell you why. Because as Steph said, and as we've mentioned, we want to have a North American experiential and networking blitz. And we are already trying to find funding and support to bring the next cohort over to North America to get some of the perspectives that we have on the North American Great Lakes and how we function and how we approach science. We have a lot of great science going on the North American Great Lakes in the US and Canada. And as we've already discussed, one of the world-class areas to do that is the experimental lakes area. And again, as I've mentioned before, if anybody saw the CBC article today, this isn't just for the African women. This is for us too, and for our scientists. These women are smart. They have great perspectives, and they can give us perspectives on how to approach freshwater science on the North American Great Lakes. So in 2022, next May, and I'll explain why next May soon, is we're planning on flying the participants of AWIS most likely to Detroit. And then we're going to go visit Ann Arbor, Michigan, where there's the Great Lakes Fishery Commission, the United States Geologic Survey, Great Lakes Science Lab, and the University of Michigan School of Environment and Sustainability, where we hope to network, present the women there, and then have mentoring and other workshops. We'll then head up to East Lansing, Michigan at Michigan State University, an Alliance for African Partnerships, whom we already have some informal relationships with, and they're pretty excited to meet some of these women. And then this is why it's happening in May, is because in Grand Rapids, Michigan, there's the International Association of Great Lakes Research Conference. I think that's in the second week of May. And next year, it's going to be a joint aquatic sciences meeting with 8 other huge freshwater, large lakes, and other freshwater organizations all meeting. I think it's around 5,000 people. And we're going to introduce the African Women in Science women to these networks and grow their networks and grow our own networks. And so the women will have the opportunity to present their work at this conference and get feedback. There will be workshops, there will be networking, and hopefully there will be also mentoring and further academic, including master's and PhD opportunities. We're not going to just be all business. We're going to see if we can go recreational fishing. We're going to head up to Traverse City, not only to see Sleeping Bear Dunes, but there's a Great Lakes Fishery Commission annual meeting where we can see some of the experts who are working on the North American Great Lakes and see how those processes work. Head up to the USGS Hammond Bay Biological Station to see some of the research taking place. And then we'll travel across the UP, seeing some of the sites until we hit the University of Minnesota Large Lakes Observatory, who are interested in also expanding into the North American Great Lakes. If you're not familiar with the Large Lakes Observatory, they've got world-class approaches to freshwater also. But then we head into Canada, and we're heading up to Winnipeg to the International Institute for Sustainable Development to hopefully do some policy work and writing work at the Institute, where we have a lot of our professionals there working in water policy. And of course, they host the experimental lakes area. But we won't stay in Winnipeg, of course. We're going to go over to the IISD experimental lakes area, where we plan on spending some time there, working with the women on approaches on the experimental lakes, how to do field work. And we don't have all of that planned out. But we're working with Matt McCandless, the executive director of ELA, and his scientists to see what we could possibly do in terms of field research, acquiring knowledge on how to go into the lakes and using different equipment. And of course, we hope that the women will also be able to present work there at the experimental lakes area and Winnipeg, at ISD, to give their perspectives and re-give their presentations from the IAGLR conference. Now, one of the things, and it depends on how all of our relationships go, but wouldn't it be fun is if we all hung out in Dryden, Kenora, and Sioux Lookout and had Rotary visits with our African Great Lakes colleagues and the AWIS women. So we're excited about the prospect or the potential of that. And from here, we have to find flights. And I assume everyone knows that we can go back to Winnipeg and fly to Toronto or Thunder Bay or probably the Sioux. And if it really comes down to it, we'll have to drive all the way down to Detroit and send everyone back. But those are the details that we'll deal with later. And we foresee Rotary as such a strong institution who works all over the world and works not only proud of their work in different areas of the world, but also in their local area. And I think John saw that with the ELA and the African Women in Science partnering up there. So there's, I think, lots of opportunities partner and support with African Women in Science, including supporting individual people or activities and meeting a lot of these people. I think it will be a great cultural experience for us all also. And with that, I want to thank you all for your attention today. That was great.